Hey, 8th graders, it's lesson 13 time for makeup lessons, and we're going to be using your green Standard of Excellence book for this lesson, and we're going to be opening up to page 12. If you are a percussionist, if you could open up, or if you could use your bell kit for the lesson, that would be great. And we're going to cover pages 12 through 14 here today, and at the end I have a special little 4-mallet instructional speech, I guess you would say, to the percussionist. So we'll get to that at the end. And for the song that you need to play in order to get full credit for this makeup lesson, you should do page 14, number 55. And percussionists, if you'd like on that one, you can play snare drum as well for the recording. So number 55, Now is the Month of Maine, on page 14 is the makeup song. But let's talk a little bit about page 12 to start out with. At number 46, you'll see that there is this old-fashioned style of writing. These are called breves and semi-breves. This is the way they would write notes 1,000 years ago, say 800 years ago. And it's really the oldest kind of music that we're able to translate into our modern day notation. So the second line is basically a translation of that old way of writing music into what it would look like today. And you'll notice that there's no measures, no dynamics, no articulation markings or phrase markings. They didn't use any of that. It was just one long line of music. And so it was kind of interesting how basically music started like that. When you look down at number 47, 47 is a pretty cool style piece called organum. And this is when they first started putting more than one part of music with another part. So you'd have like 3 different parts here, A, B, and C. And actually what part C is it's like taking the music from number 46 and taking each one of those notes and drawing them out for a very long time, creating like a drone effect. And if we kept going, if number 47 kept going beyond the 8 measures or whatever it is, the next note for part C would be like the second note of number 46 drawn out over a very long time, and then the next note drawn out over a very long time, and then they would put 2 other basically songs that would go on at the same time as that would be the A and the B part, and it's called organum. So very cool style of writing. By the way, number 46, we call that chant or plain song, and I talked about that in class. You know, if you go to a traditional church and have a priest or a pastor that says, glory be to the Father and to the Son and to the Holy Spirit, that's chant. And that comes from, hundreds of years ago. You get down to number 49, and we have this song called Swimmers Are Coming In. And this is a British song. It's a round here where you'll notice that you can play it as a round. We're just going to play it together, though, from the beginning. Again, you'll notice that there's no tempo, no dynamics. They didn't indicate that in the music. It was just the notes. But we now do have measures. This is music from, again, the Middle Ages, so even pre-Renaissance, pre-1400. So let's try playing number 49 in 6/8 time. Bum, 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 bum. Ready? Go. All right, moving on to page 13. We've still got some Renaissance, or we now get to some Renaissance music here, music from 1400 to 1600. At the top of the page, there's a review of a key signature, your key signature for concert. Sorry, I'm looking at the clarinet book and it's E flat major, so this would be concert D flat major. So look at the number of flats you have there and remind yourself what the fingerings for those are. So if you're a flute, oboe, low brass, percussionist, you have 5 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. French horn, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Clarinets and trumpets, bass clarinet, tenor sax, B flat, E flat, and A flat, and then alto and bari sax, B flat and E flat. Let's try number 50. Some of you might have 2 octaves. Some of you might go very low or very high and might have a note in a little light orange shaded box showing you the fingering or position for that note. So check that out. And let's try number 50 again. You can choose your octave for now, and let's see if mainly I'm just trying to make sure you can get all those flats. Make sure you get all those flats I just talked about. So here's 50. 1, 2, 3, go. So there's your concert D flat major scale arpeggio and chords. Let's skip down and try number 53, another Renaissance piece here. As we get into the Renaissance, you'll start seeing a little bit more of a cool melody. You'll get to see more measures being written, a little bit this one doesn't have it, but you're going to see more polyphonic music where you have more than one part occurring at once, like we talked about in band, motets, madrigals, those kind of pieces, which are really nice. But here we go, number 53. This is in the same key signature as what we just played in the scale. So again, remember all those flats. I'm also not going to do the repeat. I'm just going to go right through that repeat. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, page 14. Here's the song I'd like you to do for your recording for doing the makeup. Number 55. Now is the Month of Maine by Thomas Morley, British composer. And we're going to do this in 4/4. It says you can do it in either 4/4 cut time. We'll do it in a quick 4/4. So here we go. New key signature, by the way. Check it out. 1, ready, go. Now what I'd like to do is, if you play a woodwind or a brass instrument, I would like you to look at number 58. And this is different for every instrument, so I'm not going to go through and tell you each instrument one by one what it is and make this video super long. But I'd like you all to take a couple minutes, check it out. For some of you, it's a fingering or an alternate fingering. Check out that fingering, try to play it, then try to play that section in the green, number 58. Some of you, it has nothing to do with a new fingering. It's just playing some accidentals or working on slurring or other various things. So whatever it is for your instrument, look at that. And meanwhile, what I'm going to do is, percussionists, we're going to take this show out into the band room, and I'm going to show you some 4-mallet technique stuff. And I want to just say, first of all, that when you do 4-mallet technique, that you're going to need, obviously, 4 mallets. And I'm not going to demonstrate very well here because I have 4 unmatched mallets. Actually, 2 of them match, but the other 2 don't. So you should try to get 4 mallets that are very similar. And we are going to look at, I believe it's on page 10. So you want to turn back a little bit here. And I'm just going to put the focus here on the marimba instead of me. So if you turn, there's like a bunch of page 10s in your book. It's the one that looks like this. But it talks about the one on the first page 10, showing you how to hold your mallets when you're doing 4-mallet technique. And you'll notice that what you want to do is you want to put your thumb kind of like you normally do, on the side of the mallet here, and stick the second mallet so that it goes in between your first and second finger, like that. And so that your mallets are kind of coming out in kind of a V shape, like so. Alright. And then what you can do is with your third and fourth finger, you can kind of adjust how much your angle is. So if you want to just get like C and E, your angle is not going to be too much. But if you want C and F or C and G, you have to extend that angle. Alright. If you look at the green page 10, letter A, we have an exercise where you can practice this. Now I'm using my right hand and then I'm going to use my left hand. So let's just try the right hand on letter A. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to try it with my left hand. Okay, that's my weak hand. So if you are right-handed like me, what you just did is going to be easier than your left hand. My left hand, it's a little more tricky for me, and probably will be for you too. But let's try letter B just for something different with your left hand. I'll just do the first line. Ready? Go. Move up to D and F. Ready? Go. I missed. E and G. F, A. Okay, and that gives you an idea of how that goes. I'd like you to try several of these. Go ahead and use your left hand and then use your right hand. Try them both ways. Try like down through letter E. And if you want a challenge, you can look at F, G, and H, which is when you use both hands, like letter F, for example. You'd have your left hand on the low C and E, and your right hand would be, if I can get my mallets together here, would be on the high C and E up here. And you'd be doing it together like that, and then moving up. Okay, so if you're a good mallet player, this is a great next step for you. If you struggle a little bit at mallets, this is definitely still something you can try. It's just going to be reading the notes. It's going to be a challenge. The actual technique of doing this with your hands is going to be equally challenging, I think, for anybody, regardless of how good your skills are at reading the mallet music. So we're going to spend a couple weeks on this, so hopefully you can make the next lesson and get a chance to do it with me so I can help you. So that's it for your lesson. Thank you, everybody.